Should be able to. Um, anyways, too many people being greasy out here for no reason. Want to control and dominate your life. That sound like a maniac. That sound like some kind of some kind of serial killer to me or something. Like somebody been doing this shit for a long time or something, and they just ain't ran into the right one type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do me though. I've been holding my square down even before. You know what I'm saying? I done came into all this information. You know, I was being led. You know, navigate. You know, knowingly. But you know, I always knew in the back of my mind, hell, that I was gonna be doing something better than what I was doing back then. Shit, I always had a dream. I always had a ambition. I always had a I was always inspired to do something different, do something better. And now we in these times where people trying to stop other people from uh, making their dreams come true, bringing forth their manifestations into reality real time. I mean, just because you got that plan for me doesn't mean that I gotta accept it. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. It doesn't mean you're gonna keep me quiet. Like I said, I speak when I get ready. A lot of things you just gotta let come to you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you try to force things, a lot of times it just don't come out right. So that's sort of like the same analogy I would use with this device on this platform. I don't have to hold my tongue. Only reason I hold my tongue about a lot of things because, for one, you know, I don't worry a lot about small shit, petty shit. And for two, I don't start shit. I don't go around fucking with people. So, you know, and then, a lot of times, people they fuck with me or they get mad at me because I carry myself a certain way, I look a certain way, uh, I take care of my body. I got that appeal to the women. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just something I always did. That's just something I always had. You know what I'm saying? Not, in my gloomy days, like when I was coming up in school, living with my grandma, and she was abandoning us for some man that was a deacon in my granddaddy's church, because my granddaddy he was a pastor, and my grandma, she was the first lady of the church. So you know, and yeah, she was involved with certain. They were involved with certain brotherhoods and sisterhoods. Just gonna put it to you like that. I mean, back then I didn't know a whole lot. I didn't know nothing about it, really. All I know is that my grandma, she had her license in cosmetology. She went to school and everything for it. She even had her own shop, and she was working at a shop downtown. So she would work dealing with clients during the daytime at one shop, uh, half the day, and then the rest of the from that evening on, she would go to her own shop and deal with clients. And plus, she had her own equipment at the house we were living in. So she had like one of the old school like the chair dryer that you sit under. She had a couple of them at the house, and she had like the little the chair like for like cutting hair or doing styling hair and shit like that. The ones that you pump up. You know what I'm saying? The only problem she had was with hoarding. She was a real bad hoarder. Like she kept a lot of things that wasn't even necessary to keep, but due to that, that's what made the house become infested with rats and stuff like that, roaches, and the house was in poor condition as far as it not being repaired for a long time, and the roof caving in and stuff like that. Parts of it, rats chewing through the walls and shit. So I know what it feels like to go through poverty. Even though my grandma was in a position not, to let us go about like that, but at the same time, she was getting old. She was like in her 60s and shit, still doing that. And then she always had this thing with men, different married men, like being married and then they die, and then she ended up getting whatever their possessions left to her. So, I don't, that was her thing. You feel me? Like, I didn't judge her for that. I mean, I ain't gonna say she was a hoe or nothing, but she was like married, and she, uh, her first husband, she ended up divorcing because they couldn't get along. Their attitude was, I guess, too much alike or something. And she ended up shooting a gun at him one day off the porch. Cause we got like a story, the stairs up, from the, you gotta come up the stairs to go to get on the porch and then go like right into the house and everything. So yeah, the house was like 2 stories up, but the house was so in such poor condition though. That was the thing. And then like the way we was going to school and shit. My grandma, she was like in another town, or whatever, maybe like let's say 3 hours away or something, taking care of another man that's on his deathbed, getting ready to pass. I guess that's why she stuck underneath him and she married him as fast as she did, because she was trying to get whatever he had to his name or whatever. But that's just a little brief uh, conversation about what I've been through. I mean, I could tell you stories worse than that, but that's just the surface, you know. And then the location of the house, where it was located in. She also had another house that was next to it. It was sort of like a mini mansion, but it wasn't necessarily a mansion. It's just one of those old historical houses. Looked like it was built back in 1960s or some shit like that, 40s or some shit. So, but that house she abandoned because she had a whole bunch of stuff stacked up in that house, and that house was like was the house like most of our relatives grew up in, because like damn near everybody from uncles and aunts on up or on down grew up in that house. So my grandma was like, she took care of damn near everybody. But it was so much jealousy between the family members especially with my mom, you know what I'm saying, and how she looked, how beautiful she was, and all the other sisters hating on her. Even my grandma, there were stories about her situations with her, you know, and stuff like that, like crazy stories. But I ain't finna get into all that. But uh, yeah, man, that's why I appreciate the things that I've been through and the journey that I've been on from then to now, because I can look back and see how far I came. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the things that I have now, and appreciate the direction I'm going in now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they can't you can tell they ain't been through nothing because they don't appreciate nothing. Not even the shit that they have, because like most of them have every just about everything they want, everything they need, but they're not happy. They're miserable still. They worry about others, even though they have enough for them to, you know what I'm saying, to live well off on. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't have to do some of the things that they do, but based on the world we living in nowadays, you know what I'm saying, some things you just ain't surprised by. You know, yeah, I ain't surprised, man. I done been through a lot of shit. And then there was a time where hell, when I was going to school and shit with, like I said, like with the same clothes on for about 2 weeks at a time, and my sister being left with us, and we you know what I'm saying, we little children, we children coming up on the herd. I'm about probably 10. My nephew, he was living with us. He was 8, and my little brother, he was 6. And my sister, not my oldest sister, but my second oldest sister, she was 17 at the time. So, and then me and my sister, we got into it one time, and she had the broom, and she had it turned upside down, and some kind of way I ended up on the floor. So she was poking the broom at me, and then she messed around and hit me in my eye, and split in my eye or whatever. And then I had a whole, my eye swelled up real bad and shit. I had to go to school and shit like that. So they had goddamn social workers coming, trying to come to school and interview us and trying to see what's going on. And we would sit there and lie to them, and act like, you know, I had to make up this story about how my eye got the way it was and all this other shit. And then there was times that they would pull up at the house, and it would just be, you know what I'm saying, just like parked in front of the house and shit. And they would come to the door when we wouldn't answer. We would know they're there because like we got blinds and shit. We could see from a distance like who's at the door and shit. But they can't see inside because you got the curtains and everything covering the blinds. But yeah, man, crazy upcoming, man. And then the town, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in, it was nothing but stricken poverty. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but poverty. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like a mixture. It was like you had the melanated people and they communities and neighborhood separate from the Caucasians and stuff like that, and separate from the Hispanics and stuff like that. So it wasn't no intermingling. Everybody stayed to their own kind. You feel me? Like, that's just how it is. And then, you know what I'm saying? Here, where I'm at, I'm not from here, so I mean, a lot of shit is like a culture shock to me. Like when I first started living here, and seeing how everybody. I mean, I can't say I'm not, you know what I'm saying, like sort of used, but I didn't really like see a whole lot of it until I started living down in the Florida area. So, but like further down south of Florida, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying, it's a lot different. You know, it's people a lot more laid back and everything. But here, you know, it's one of them. You can tell it's one of those towns. You got your, you know what I'm saying, your Aryan Brotherhood and stuff like that around, and you can kind of tell how, you know what I'm saying, certain things, you know, that be going on. You know what I'm saying? It been going on. You know what I'm saying, for a minute. So. I don't have a problem with people being who they are. It's just if I treat you a certain kind of way, I expect the same thing that I put out. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you are, or, you know, I'm not like everybody else. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So you can't just treat me like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You can't come at me how you think you can come at me, or you think you could be a narcissist or like controlling and shit like that. I ain't used to that. I wasn't brought up like that. Like I said, I'm not finna start either. I'll call that shit out before I let it get to that point. Yeah, you got a lot of dudes that be trying to chin check you, all that other shit, and be wanna make you feel bad because you know what I'm saying, whatever their perception is of you, or, you know, and then a lot of times just be your complexion. Like, it don't even. I ain't never looked at no, you know what I'm saying, no other individual that made, you know what I'm saying, that had darker hair than me. I never looked at them different. You feel me? I felt like I was always the same as them because, you know, we all been through the same shit. So to be down here and see the opposite is like, folks don't even have to know you, man. They start feeling some type of way for you, man, like out of nowhere, just straight animosity, probably from something they heard or something they think they know about you. They don't even give a brother a chance to even state his case or even introduce who he is. They expect you to just automatically be vulnerable, gullible, and being friendly with everybody, and just goddamn putting yourself in all kind of other circles that you probably don't even need to be in. But you know, I'm an older man, older gentleman. You know what I'm saying? People come at me like I'm some young person, or trying to handle me that way, and then when they see that aggressiveness come out, they be wanna act like goddamn they the victim and shit. No, man, like if you would have never came to me coming at me or saying anything to me, that would have never happened. And then a lot of times it's them coming at me aggressive, and that's how it was at first. I didn't know why, you know, but they'll sit there and play dumb. It's like every day it's like everything is same thing, same pattern. Want to temperature check you. Think they got some kind of authority over you. And I mean, I work a job, you know what I'm saying, because I have bills. I don't work a job because I think I'm signing my life away, even though some of these jobs, they like to tell you that. But that don't mean that's how you have to perceive it, or that don't mean that's what it is. I mean, it can seem that way to a degree, but everybody has a job. Everybody ain't fortunate. Everybody don't have money falling in their lap or have an inheritance that they can turn to. So mix me with that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want me to talk like this. That's why they always coming at me sideways. Cause they think they think they know what I'm about. You ain't never giving me the chance like you claim I ain't never gave you the chance. And the only reason I ain't never gave you the chance because I already knew what you was up to, and I already knew how you the way you was handling me made me stay the fuck away from you. You know what I'm saying? Cause but then they'll turn around and try to make it seem like, oh, you acting all what they call it, claustrophobic or whatever the word is. Where you don't, you know what I'm saying? You're afraid of being around other people, you know, or large crowds or something like that. But everybody's like that to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I ain't saying like as far as like wanting to be around other people, but as far as like large crowds and shit like that, some people can tolerate it, some people can't. You know what I'm saying? It don't make me, you know what I'm saying, less of a person. You know what I'm saying? People look at me automatically think I'm some sort of macho man because I know how to I know how to I know how to talk and handle myself. You're supposed to. You're a grown man. If you're a grown woman, you're supposed to know how to talk. You're supposed to know how to handle yourself. Whether somebody around or whether ain't nobody around. See what it is, they try to use my kindness for weakness. They try to use my silence for weakness. And they know I ain't like that. I'm not actually like that, but they'll portray that to everyone else just to keep some perpetual lie going, or just to keep they self inside my energy, so they can keep, because they need a host. You know what I'm saying? They got this entity in them, and it needs a host, so they gotta find someone to stay near, to kind of drain them or whatever, just so they can feel fulfilled. That shit like weird. That shit weird than a motherfucker. And it's a false perception. Some people were brought up a certain way, and then they think it's stuff that used to work, they try to apply it today. Like a lot of shit been outgrown, outdated. They just don't work no more. But you can't tell them that. They gonna keep doing the same old thing because they stuck in a time loop. See, at the same time they try to say you ain't free, but at the same time they ain't free because they stuck in a time loop. They can't go past from what they've been taught. They can't think outside of the box. They can't think higher than what they've been taught. I ain't saying all, I'm saying some. This ain't me bad mouth down talking a person. This is me stating the facts. Oh, you want to handle me because you look at me, you know what I'm saying? You look at lighter complected people as somebody who's supposed to be perceived as weak. And I guess the darker complected, they're supposed to be the more stronger ones. But that's not always the case, and that's not what I'm saying my situation is, you know what I'm saying? anybody can act tough, but can everybody get along? Can anybody just get along with someone they never met, or someone they never know or don't know a whole lot about? Is that the reason why you so itchy and afraid? As if you gotta know everything. That just sounds like some sort of plan or some sort of agenda that someone's carrying out. Don't force my hand. You ain't got to. Cause I'm gonna be a man regardless. I'm gonna say what I gotta say regardless. And if a motherfucker wanted to do something, sucker punch me, whatever the case may be, they done got close enough to me at times, but they talk that shit, but they know they ain't gonna take it no further. Who said I was trying to take it any further? Only thing I'm saying is don't force my hand. Nah, everybody want to be a bully. Everybody want to be this and that. Everybody want to be more than what they betraying. Everybody want to be something other than what they ain't, what they is or ain't. Just weirdo shit. And then the weird shit be, man, most of the time you catch a lot of these older folks, man. These older people, man, like old, man, they be hating. They be hating hard as hell too, man. They be most of the ones that be giving you the most trouble. Goddamn, they be trying to act like they so calm and nice, but really they be afraid of you for no apparent reason. I ain't gonna say all of them because I done met a lot of nice older people, man. They treat me, with fairness. I'm talking about the ones that got that old ways in them. Those old breaded ways. That's what I'm talking about. Man, yo, T.I., man, I understand you cut your hair for business purposes, man, but them dreads, man, they fit you though, dog. Like, you had some nice styles and shit. Made me want to dread my shit up, for real. You know. Yeah, man. Hope everybody having a good week. Stay focused. Stay, you know what I'm saying, up to par. Just do you. Don't worry about the next person. 'Cause if you focus on you, then the people you surround yourself with, they gonna be just like you. They're gonna have some kind of motion just like you. They're gonna be doing some of the same things, or not, or doing something else, because you don't want to be doing the same exact thing. You know, like you are. They got goals. They got uh things that they got going on too. You know what I'm saying? And salute to that. Salute to the real ones. Salute to the authentic ones. Salute to all the OGs and this shit. The old guys, the old gals. I mean, I ain't necessarily calling you old, but I'm saying like old, like mature as far as wisdom goes, as far as knowledge goes. But stay grounded. Stay, you know what I'm saying, focused on your goals. All right. Later. Peace.